Rita with Scripture Gifts, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pillow bed. You're going to need a few supplies. Among them, you're going to need 1.5 yards of fabric, or more depending on how many pillows you want to use. Today I'm going to make a 3-pillow bed. So I'm going to need 1.5 yards. I chose this fabric here because it's nice and soft and my kids love it. You're also going to need a marking instrument such as a pencil or a piece of chalk like this. I'm using this chalk pencil. And you're going to need some pins. I have my little heart-shaped pin holder here with my pins. And you're going to need some kind of cutting instrument. You can use scissors like these fabric scissors. Or as an option, you can also use a serger. If you're going to use a serger to finish off the edges, you really don't need a cutting instrument because the serger is going to cut everything for you. So let's get started. This pillow here is going to be my template. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my fabric over the pillow. And I'm going to mark the width with chalk right on the edge. You just mark it on the edge. Now that we've marked out our fabric and we've measured out everything that we need to measure out to make sure that the pillow pockets are big enough for the pillows that we're using, we are ready to sew. Here you have a few options. You can use a regular sewing machine, and that's enough to complete the project. Or you can add a little bit of a professional touch with a serger and finish off the ends. I'm going to use a serger because I have one and I just think it looks really nice when the ends are finished off. So let's get to it. I've got these beautiful finished edges all around my project so that when I sew it, if I turn it inside out, it still looks pretty and it doesn't fray. So now that I've got my project serged and marked, I can begin sewing. You can actually use a regular sewing machine from here on out, which is what I've got here. Went ahead and pinned the ends. Make sure to grab all the layers of fabric. So you don't want anything sticking out. You want to make sure that you backstitch this so it's nice and secure. Now I'm using gray thread here so that you can actually see how I'm sewing this. But I recommend you use a thread that doesn't show, unless you want it to show. Nothing wrong with that. But you see how it grabbed all of the layers. Now that's my top. I've got to do the bottom. Once you've finished off both edges and close them up like this, it's a good idea to flip it over and make sure that you grabbed all the layers. And then at this point, as an option, you can use your serger to finish it off again right above this stitch, and it just gives it a stronger hold. For this final step, I'm going to take my finished pillow bed and flip it so that the right side of the fabric is facing me. And it's going to look like a giant pillowcase. We're going to put it on a flat surface. Now you're going to take your pillow and just kind of recheck your sizing. 1, 2, 3, looks about right. Once you've got your pillow bed out on a flat surface like this, you're gonna take your ruler and measure out where the pockets are gonna go. So earlier we measured about 18.5 inches. So I've marked my pillow bed in 2 separate places where I'm gonna sew. And because I have such a wide piece of fabric with several layers, I need to make sure to pin these layers in place so they don't shift while I'm putting this through my sewing machine. So I'm gonna grab some extra pins and simply pin in place. And we are literally 2 stitches away from finishing our project. I have switched out my thread to a white thread to match my fabric. Since we're going to be sewing on the right side of the fabric, I want it to blend. If you want to, you can actually use a colored thread for a decorative effect, but in this case, I'm going to use a white thread so that I don't see the stitch. Once you've finished off the last 2 stitches, it's a good idea to take some finishing scissors like these